Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Radine Marks, bringing you the top stories making headlines in Israel every Monday to Thursday here on this platform and on our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief. Before we get into today's headlines, I would like to extend the condolences, our thoughts and prayers from everybody here at Lay of the Land to the people of Lebanon, and in particularly Beirut, and all victims of yesterday's horrendous blast. Let's take a look at today's top stories, and we begin with yesterday's massive blast in the heart of Beirut. Yesterday, a massive blast in the port area of the city of Beirut in Lebanon has killed over 100 people that we know of. That death toll is expected to rise and has injured over 4,000. Now, what was initially thought as a blast caused by fireworks, on closer investigation, it turns out that there was nearly 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate. This is chemical or material used to build bombs. Now, there are various reports, some saying that this is material that was seized, that was belonging to Hezbollah. Others say that it was just badly stored. But what we do know that it has created absolute carnage across the city, and that rescue and recovery operations are underfoot to try and get as many bodies, or see if there are any survivors of this horrendous catastrophe. Initially on social media, many people took to blaming Israel. Israeli officials quickly denied any involvement, and we have heard from the Lebanese also ruling out any Israeli involvement. What we also know from Israel's side is that through our defense and through our diplomatic channels, we have offered humanitarian aid to Lebanon, as well as our hospitals for any evacuees or the injured that may need to be treated. It is unknown as yet if any of the Lebanese authorities have taken Israel up on their offer of humanitarian aid. This is not the first time that Israel has offered humanitarian aid to an enemy country. We spoke a little while ago about Operation Good Neighbor, the IDF's humanitarian mission into Syria to rescue civilians that needed medical care, and where there has been disasters around the world, Israel has dispatched aid teams, even if we do not have formal diplomatic relations. But the Lebanese government have declared 3 days of mourning, and also reports coming in through the Hebrew press that at least 85% of the country's grain storage was destroyed in this blast, and at least 250,000 people may be rendered homeless or have had their homes damaged. It is an absolute catastrophe for the people of Beirut, for the people of Lebanon, especially at a time where their economy is in free fall, and this is severely impacted by the coronavirus global pandemic. We really hope that our support, our prayers, whatever we can do to strengthen the people of Beirut is taken in the spirit in that it was meant. And this is a time, as our President Rivlin so rightly said, that we have to put humanity over politics. So once again, I extend our thoughts, our prayers and our condolences to the people of Lebanon. In other news, we are watching what is happening in Israel with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, the IDF Alon team, this is a team made up of about 2,000 soldiers, started assisting the health ministry with the tracking of infections and also the tracking and testing of the epidemiology. I hope I pronounced that word correctly. Also, en route home from India are Israeli research teams that will return from India after cooperating on a very special project with at least 20,000 samples that we can use to try and look for ways to fight the coronavirus pandemic. Israel's numbers have kind of stabilized or hit a plateau, although the mortality rate and the rate of seriously injured is still very high. Now, the government have been discussing whether or not to go back into situations of lockdown, and no decision has been made there. But the Health Ministry announced earlier today that they will not be going ahead with closing retailers on a weekend. It is a very, very sensitive issue here, and of course, as the economy is in a very, very precarious situation, we want to get as much of the economy and as much of our retailers working as possible while also maintaining good health. So let's take a look at those statistics as they stand. At the moment, since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, 76,763 people have tested positive, with 564 fatalities. At the moment, 24,868 people are infected with COVID-19, 355 of them in serious condition, but 51,331 people have made full recovery. And it wouldn't be an Israel Brief broadcast without looking at the internal politics in the Knesset. And today, the Blue and White Party pushed forward, moving for legislation that would ban Prime Minister Netanyahu running in another election. And this is due to the criminal charges that the Prime Minister is facing. So basically what this means, or what the Blue and White are trying to achieve, is that if there is no agreement on the budget by the 25th of August deadline, this would automatically send Israel into another series of elections, like we need another set of elections, and they are moving to try and prevent Prime Minister Netanyahu running in these. So these are the top stories making headlines. We will keep you updated on any new developments with regards to the blast in Lebanon that took place in Beirut in the port area. Now, don't forget that you can check out our content online. It's all original content. You can check it out on www.layoftheland.online. There'll be an article there later written by Dave Kaplan about Israel's extraordinary entertainment industry. Everybody's buying up Israeli concepts, from Fauda to Shtisel to Chatufim. You all know these shows. You all love these shows. Read more about them there. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook page. We are at Lottel's site. And give us a like or a follow. Share our content, especially this very, very brief. We are also on our YouTube channel at The Israel Brief. Don't forget to click on that big red subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. That's a lot of social media. So from me, Rolene, with the Wednesday or Hump Day edition of The Israel Brief, I wish you safety and good health, and we'll speak again tomorrow.